if this works. I hope the picture's a little bit better. It looks a little bit better. Making sure that it's up there. And see if I can find my questions. All right, hold on. I have to look up and see where I can find the questions. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you get a live show. I've been having issues with it, which is why I got started off a little bit late. Let me know if you can hear me, and hopefully soon I'll be able to tell you in the comments if I can hear you back. I'm going to answer a lot of questions that I got. No, that's not what I said there. I'm going to answer a lot of questions that I got from last month's Q&A. A lot of you put comments in the questions, and that's great. I am hoping to, let's see, where is it? I can't even find my questions here. All right, let's see this. Maybe if I go into it. There we go. All right. Now we can do it. Everyone can hear me. Okay. There we go. Karen appears to be working well. Thank you, Brian. All right. He says, Goku says, been waiting for this all week. Excellent. So, question from last week. Geek Addict says, do you like the Han Solo trilogy? I'm guessing you're talking about AC Crispin's trilogy. Yes, I do. It's a great trilogy. So are the, he said, what about the older Solo books written by Brian Daley? Yes, I do, and I can't wait to review them. Dark Novia, what's the worst thing to come out of Clone Wars? Ahsoka is what he says. For me, it's the contradictions. It's the total blatant disregard for a continuity that everyone works so hard to do, and then Filoni just kind of steamrolls without even checking with Leland Chi. In fact, they asked Leland Chi, do they even check with you? And he said no. And let's see. Anyway, so it'd be the contradictions, definitely. Darksider, if I could marry a female Jedi, if I could marry a female Jedi, that would be the missus, actually. Well, he says from the Clone Wars eras, who would it be? I don't know. Let me go through the Clone Wars era and see. I don't remember many female Jedi in the books. I remember like one or two, but I have to look back over the comic books too, because there may be some more. And he said, how would Starkiller, the original, I think you mean the original George Lucas character from the first script of Star Wars, what would he be like in the original trilogy? Well, Darksider, if you read the, it was called The Star Wars by Dark Horse, it actually tells you about what his original script and kind of what that guy would be. He was kind of like an old war vet, kind of like a cross between Obi-Wan and Han Solo. I don't think he would have been anything like Luke Skywalker. But if you want to check it out, you can. I have heard bad reviews about it. I didn't get it because it's Infinities, and I just don't do stuff that's not within the, canon, the old canon. Even the Infinity stuff, I never read. There's one that I read that had Infinity status, but only because of one story. And now, and I never got the answer from Leland Chi. These are the fading days of when I was spending time on the forums. But I think it all fits into canon now, and I'll explain why when I get to it, because I will be reviewing that. Here, Victor, I'll go ahead and answer your question since it's popping one up. What's your favorite movie from the original trilogy? Ooh, that's hard. It's not Empire. Isn't that weird? I love Empire. Probably the first one. Probably Episode 4, A New Hope. I do love Return of the Jedi, though. I love them all, though. That's kind of hard. It's like, which one of these children are your favorite? So they're all three good, but Empire doesn't have an ending, which is what you usually want in a film. Return of the Jedi does have an ending, so does A New Hope. I'm going to go with A New Hope. I think just the classic is just great. I'm so glad you love the new webcam. Have I ever played Risk? Chloe the dog says, yes, I have. And but I found a better game. It's called Conquest of the Empire. I did a review on it way years ago. I'm gonna put it into my board game review list, because it was before I started doing Matt's board game review. But Conquest of the Empire is by Eagle Games. It is much more advanced, in my opinion, than Risk, and I love Risk. So I play that above Risk. And everyone hampers me about that video because I make up a rule, and I didn't say house rule. I think I did say house rule in that video. Everyone's like, that's not the rule. Well, yeah, I said house rule. you know, if I see something that doesn't work very well, I give it a house rule. But anyway, Fort Lifter Matt says, I'm looking good. Well, thank you. Have you seen Force Awakens yet? Wombast Beast says. No. Oh, sorry. Womble Beast. Womble Beast, I have not. I'm sorry. It's not part of the old EU. Geez, I go back and forth answering questions, I guess, here. Okay, let's see. Evangeline, what are your thoughts on George Lucas being concerned and disappointed with The Force Awakens? You know what? I think it was, I don't know if he's disappointed with The Force Awakens. I think it's just, he's just disappointed they're leaving him out of the loop now. And they disregarded his story that he gave them. He's feeling a little unhappy that he's unwanted now. But as for The Force Awakens, I haven't heard him say anything outwardly against it. If you have, hey, send me the link. I will be glad to read it. Michael, welcome to your Expanded Universe podcast. Hey, thank you. Let's see. Goku. Ever wonder where you and your YouTube channel would be if Disney had never gotten Star Wars, never canceled the EU? Goku, I will tell you exactly where my channel would be. It would be a board game review channel with about 75, 100 people watching. To be honest, I mean, I still have a good board game group out there. Well, it's more close to 200 now. So I'd probably have 200 followers or a little less than that. And, you know, I would be happy, though, because there'd be more Legend stuff or, you know, old EU stuff coming out. So I wouldn't have to complain. Which I don't anymore. I basically just do reviews. But I'm loving doing this chronological review, by the way, because, and I was talking this to a few of you, I think, no one has done this in depth. I pat myself on the shoulder here, but no one has done this in depth of a timeline, because this is something I've always wanted, like all the stories, all the shorts, all the comics, because you can get a few of the comics in some old comic compendium, but it's outdated now. Pablo Delgado's book is really good, but it is missing a few books, and then he misses a lot of the short stories, the web comics and everything. So I've always wanted something like this, and no one had it. And I went, you know what? I think I got it all. So let me give it a shot. So anyway, that's where my channel would be. Oh, thank you, Wumblebeast. I'm glad I did it. I pronounced it wrong the first time, so I apologize for that. Ryan Ho, most underrated EU story. Underrated? That's a good question. What is something that everyone doesn't like as much? Children of the Jedi by Kathy Tyers. I think it's underrated. I think a lot of people just give it a pass because they don't like Callistia and her storyline, but I actually like it. All right, anyway, before I get to the, well, Victor Vegas, go ahead. Have you seen any of the new Star Wars videos released today? No, I haven't seen anything today. I've been pretty busy. I've been playing this baseball game because I love baseball, and spring training is starting. I'm so excited. All right, let's see. What alien species would you like to see a character become a Jedi? What did I always? Thanks, buddy, for the question. They already did the one, because remember in a long time in Jenny Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, for the last episode, they let you vote on a Jedi, and I went for the Wolfman Jedi. It's Sistan or whatever, however you pronounce his name. Excuse me, I got a burp. That's going to be very awkward, isn't it? Anyway, and so I voted for him because I've always wanted to see a Jedi like that. I'd like to see more like that. One alien species that wasn't really harped on. You know what? The Sisteruk. From Kathy. I said Kathy Tyers, Children of Jedi. It's Barbara Hamley. I'm so sorry. But Kathy Tyers, Truth of Bakura. That'd be interesting. Probably wouldn't happen, but anyway, let's see. Art of Death. Since I'm all about canon and you're a fan of Back to the Future comic books, oh, are you a fan of the Back to the Future comics that are written by Bob Gale? No. Art of Death, Death, I think is what it is. I did not know about that. I'm going to save that. I'm going to look that up. There's Back to the Future comics. That's cool. And I guess they're in continuity, which is why you asked me that. So that's awesome to know. Golden Eagle. Are you from Mississippi, Golden Eagle? Let me see. Would you ever consider doing a versus series? You know what? Other people do versus series, and I think they do it better than I ever could. So no, I'm going to leave it to them to do the versus. stuff. I have my own little niche, and I'm happy with it. There's a lot of good channels out there that do great verses, though. Have I read the Union comic books about Luke and Leia? Yes, I have. Wall and Beast, I've read it all. Okay, I've read it all. Let me see. Victor's loving my reviews. Oh, thank you. You're rereading them in chronological order. Oh, no! You're the second person to tell me that. I would never suggest anyone for the first time go through it in chronological order because you may get a little mixed up, and Dawn of the Jedi is not a good place to start. But thank you. I have another guy who's reading it through, Ryan. He keeps updating me on what it's like, you know, what he likes and what he dislikes. And it's kind of neat to hear how someone's reading through a lot of these books for the first time in chronological order. I do not suggest that, though. I suggest you pick the ones you're interested in first and then trickle down from there. Of course, I always eat the best thing on my plate last, so I may need to pay attention to my own advice there. Christopher Nelson, how do you imagine The Force Unleashed 3 would have been and resolved the cliffhanger? Oh, Christopher Nelson, you guys are asking great questions tonight. He would have had to die, ultimately. Probably saving the Alliance. Probably a last face-off against Vader, and it's a big battle, but Vader wins, of course. I'd really like to know what they were thinking for Force Unleashed 3, because you can't tell me they weren't going to make the game, right? So, and that was the best thing about that game were the novels. If you guys play the game and you read the novels, you're missing a lot. I can't wait to review those. Ryan Ho, did you ever play or have any interest in Star Wars Galaxies? You know what? I had this much interest, but I just never got into it because I didn't have much time for those what are they called, MMO games. I think it was pretty good. A lot of people love Galaxies. I do have the book Ruins of Dantooine from Galaxies and read it, and can't wait to review that as well. All right, I am already falling behind in the questions. Right on. Bunny Smith, what character were you ever surprised never became popular in the EU? You guys are knocking them out of the park tonight. Oh man, I'm looking. By the way, I'm looking over here in my collection. I'm not looking at my invisible friend for advice. Who am I surprised didn't become popular? Gosh. And didn't get asked for more. I'll tell you. I'm about to review him too. It's the guy from, I can't believe I forgot his name. My mind's gone blank. It's the guy from the Starfighter comic books. Someone help me in the comments. The Starfighter comic books. What is that? He's the pirate. I just talked about a short story about him a few weeks ago. I can't remember, but when I find his name, that's the guy. Starfighter comic. I'm shocked because I mean, in the game, I'm sure he's very popular, and I liked him in that comic book, but there's nothing else about him. And I thought he was a really interesting character. So I went with the comic book character there. Let me get rid of these questions from last week, though. Let me knock these out. John Hansen says, have you ever played the board game Blood Rage? I got a board game question. I got to answer it. No, I have not, John. I hear great things about it. And I am going to Gen Con again this year, so I may play it. I'll definitely put that on the list of games I want to play. Jupiter Joan from Germany. By the way, Jupiter, my grandmother, her family was from Germany. My grandmother passed away just, what was it, last year? She was 97 years old. So she made best German cakes, German meals. So, oh man, feel like I got a little piece of, well, I am part German, I guess. It says, do you ever think the stories of the EU will be printed and still be sold? And he's talking about under the Legends banner, I'm assuming. And I would say yes, they will be. They're always interested in making money. This is an easy way for them to continue making that money. Will every book be in print? No. Will the children's books ever be in print? Someone asked me this this past week. I don't know. That's going to be hard to reprint a children's novel under the Legends banner. So I would say no. I would hope so. I would hope they give a chance for everyone to purchase those again if they want to. But that's up to Scholastic and their contract with Lucasfilm. Eric Schroeder says, have you ever played the Star Trek version of Catan? And remember last time I talked about Catan. And by the way, if you call it Catan, I'm so sorry. You may be right. I just like calling it Catan. I don't know why. I haven't. I do like Star Trek. I do think that's interesting, but I like the base games of Catan. and I'm just going to stick with that. There's several offshoots of Catan. I thought about getting them, but I was like, nah, I just like the base game and its expansions. So, but I hear good things. The Star Trek version is the best of all the spinoffs, is what a lot of people say. Richard, and I'm going to butcher your last name here, Elliker, have you ever read the Shakespeare Star Wars series? He says Jar Jar makes more sense in them. I bet he does. Can't get any worse, can he? I never read them because, oh gosh, I do theater, and I don't know if anyone knows this, but I hate Shakespeare. There, I said it. I don't like him. I hate doing a Shakespeare play. Even a new, I did one, and I despised it. And nothing against anyone else in the cast and crew and director or whatnot. I've found out I do not like Shakespeare at all. And he's great. I mean, he's a great guy who wrote a lot of plays and stuff. And I do plays from time to time. But no, I don't like Shakespeare, so I didn't do it. If you liked it, great. Tobio says, looks like you need to do a board game shelf review tour video because I had the camera turned around. You can see part of my board game reviews. Toby, you have 1 billion more games more than me, but I'll do it sometime. And finally, PHS86 says, do you remember all stories from the books, or do you have to read some of them again after a few years? He's talking about during my review. Most of the books and stories I do remember. Some of the short stories and some of the short comic series I don't, and I will have to review those. So no, I'm not all-knowing or whatnot. I do have to do a little checkup, a brush up. But basically all the books I remember and a lot of the scenes. Now, in a series like a trilogy or something, I do get things mixed up in what book happened and what. I've noticed. I was like, oh, I thought that happened in book 2. Oh, it happened in book 3. Oh, that's weird. So that's the only thing I get mixed up a lot in the books. But I pretty much remember all the stories because remember, I talked about these stories all the time, online in forums or with friends or people I knew. One of my best friends, Bruce from Prince of the Universe podcast, I would, even though he had stopped reading them after a certain time, he would always listen to me. I guess why he just daydreamed. Well, I talked about the newest book or comic book series because I was just like so amazed by everything. All right, I know I'm super behind in these comments. Let's do this. He said, I heard Kathy at Lucasfilm is looking at an action TV show George wanted to make. Do you think if she does do it, do you think we can get her to make a book based on the show for the legend? I hear she's thinking about it, but it's not going to be off George Lucas's scripts that he prepared. They may take the same idea, but they're not going to use those scripts. I think it's going to be something totally different too. And it's new canon stuff, so I'm not really that interested. And someone else asked me this: would I be happy with a new a show or something, about the legends? Not. Let's see here. Let's see if I scroll a bit. Any opinion on the Dark Force series? Yeah, I can't wait to review it. The author, William C. Dietz, I actually talked to him, Tevya, and he is a super, super, super cool guy. I love him. And I would really love you as well. There we go. What is wrong with this? I scrolled down too far. All right, here we go. Where was I? All right, here we go. All right, Michael, does anyone else think that Kirk Hannis hand in the Would Kirk Hannis said no? Well, I gave my opinion on what I think happens. I think it was Jaina Solo, but I don't know. It could be, but he's really old by that time, so I don't think so. Victor says he got confused with Dawn of the Jedi book. I know those flashbacks. Oh, it's such a terribly written book. Well, my first review, and I tell you, I hate that book. It's one of the worst books in the EU. Not the worst, but one of them. Should I read Force Unleashed? If you play the game, yes. If you didn't, I think it's still good. Yeah, I think it's still good. Oh, Snoopy's reading them in order too, but he's skipping the Old Republic and the prequel novels. Oh, okay. You gonna go back and read them because they're not bad. Any opinion on Star Wars Old Republic, Rise of the Emperor expansion? I don't play the Old Republic, Tevia, so I can't really comment on it. I know they're doing good things over there. So, and by the way, that Old Republic is kind of it's the only Legends game out there, right? Even though no new stories coming out about it. So it's something. Let's see, Goku. Would you watch Rebels if they had an episode where Darth Vader kills off all the characters at the end? No, but that would be funny if they did. Let's see. Any opinion on Rebels doing a lot of nods to the Old Republic? They always do. They pay fan service. Not the Old Republic, as you know, because the Old Republic they're talking about is 1,000 years. So either they scrunch the timeline up and put things in there, or they're just doing some nods. But it's the same nods that the Filoni's Clone Wars did, and they're all doing that to pay lip service. But like I said, I can't comment on Rebels because I don't watch it. Let's see. Vader kills Filoni. That'd be funny. Let's see. What's my favorite comic in the EU? I'll tell you that later when I get to it. I do like Tales of the Jedi, though. I did say that was one of my top favorite comic books, right? As a series, Tales of the Jedi is really good. And Knights of the Old Republic is a really good series, too. That would be in my top 10. Let's see. This thing gets... I touch it and it just moves real fast. Okay. If you were to change the Clone Wars finale, how would you handle it? Would you build it? How would I end Filoni's Clone Wars? With Ahsoka dying, an episode with Ahsoka dying, I think would be good. So we won't have to explain her away. I think, George always wanted to kill her, and I was on George's side on that one. I thought she should die, and that way it's maybe a step further to the dark side for Anakin, and it happens just a few months out before the events of Episode 3. So maybe they just close it out like that. Maybe Dooku kills her. How's that? And that explains his extra rage and his willingness to decapitate him at the end. That's a thought. Just a thought. Did they ever play Jedi Academy game? No, I didn't. How good was the story compared to the book? The book wasn't about Jedi Academy. It was about the character from Jedi Academy. I enjoyed the book. I have never played the game. I hear good things about it, though. I just don't get into the video games as much. That's why I'm not going to do any reviews on the video games. Remember, the video games were S-canon, meaning they're secondary canon. The events happened, but not exactly as how you played them. So for that case, like I made a huge mistake trying to do a review of the Knights of the Old Republic game. I got so much, backlash from that because I got details wrong, obviously, with the game. I shouldn't pretend to be an expert on video games when I don't play them. So I'm gonna leave that for someone else. If someone wants to do video games in chronological order, I'll be watching. And you probably get done before me too. Let's see. Tavia, a question. Do you think Ahsoka Tano is going to die in the next season? I don't watch Rebels. Sorry. Don't know. I doubt she would. Filoni loves her, so I doubt she would ever die. But she may. Who knows? End up being a lot like Last of the Jedi. Anyway, let's see. If Mara had not been Luke's love interest, who would have liked to have been his love interest? Callistia. Shh, I'm a Callistia fan. I've always loved Callistia. So anyway, yeah, but it did be Callistia. Let's see. What do I think of the decision to kill the whole Tatwani family in Ewok's Battle for Endor? It really contradicts the happy end of the film. Stuart, this is my favorite question of the night. Ewok movies, yeah! I just gave them to a buddy of mine to watch. I was shocked. I saw that as a kid, and I was like, "What? Did they just kill it?" It was kind of weird, but the reason they did it is because George Lucas's daughter really liked Sindel, and I guess he didn't have a story for anyone else, and so he liked the story of Heidi. He was reading her Heidi, and I don't remember Heidi. I read it years ago, the old novel, and I guess her whole family died, so he just killed off her whole family. Really weird of George. Remember, George wrote the scripts for this. Wait, if George wrote the scripts, why aren't they canon? Because everything George wrote comes to canon. Forget it. Anyway, but that is a dark beginning to that one, isn't it? That's why it's hard to pick between my two favorites of that. Troy is on. Hey, Troy. Let's see. From Mexico. All right. Take good care of Yubnup. I will. I will. See. Let's see. Currently doing a read through the New Jedi Order. I'm sure you've answered this question before, but what is your favorite book in the New Jedi Order series? As Star by Star, I guess. Yeah, Star by Star. Troy Denny's really awesome. That's why I can't wait to meet him. Whoa. There's a lot of questions. I'm making it, folks. I'm making it. Here we go. Whew. Hold on. Sorry. Catching up. This is the boring part. I should just hum, right? Y'all are asking great questions. He just finished working out with his girlfriend. A little bit of everything. Get pumped. That's right. Need to go work out. How do I think Thrawn would handle the bomb? Golden Eagle, you know what? I truly believe that Timothy Zahn was setting him up, and remember, it was an outside threat outside of our galaxy, right? That they knew about. They knew about bomb. I think Thrawn would have been prepared and had annihilated them the moment they came in. Remember, they used the Jedi and Luke to be, Luke was kind of like, well, let's see if we can make this with him first, and that turned out to be a mistake, as we all know. I don't want to go into too much of the New Jedi Order because I want to ruin it for someone, but I think Thrawn would have decimated them. Michael, I can handle these questions. Don't worry. they're flying in. I won't get to all of them. Let's see. The art books for Star Wars, which rejected design would you like to see get reused in any Star Wars related thing? I don't know. Some of the foreign covers of the books are really good, but would I want them repurposed for something else? Probably not. Danger Step. Johnny Danger Step is in the house, folks. What are thoughts on Shaz the Empire, medium phenomenon, and how did it impact the EU? It impacted the EU greatly. I can't wait to review Shaz the Empire. In fact, I have the entire toy collection of Shaz the Empire. I collected all the toys runs until whatever the next phase was after Shaz the Empire. And then my little college self broke. It got broke, had no more money, so I had to stop collecting toys. I don't collect toys anymore. And I will not get back into collecting the toys again. I will open up and play with those toys when I have a son. And I can't wait. And I'm not this guy that keeps boxes his whole life. Let's see. What else? Do you have the kids' book where Anakin goes on adventure? Yeah, I have all the Junior Jedi Knights series, all 6. I hear those are hard to get now. Tevia says, do I think Disney shouldn't have gotten rid of LucasArts and given them to EA? I don't know why they got rid of LucasArts. I've said this before. That was really weird. Why would they want to keep it in-house? They got their own video game creator. You'd think they'd want to utilize that. So that just confuses me. I don't know why. And I never heard that many people cry out in anger over it. There's a few people, but not that many people. So, and I want to get angry, but I didn't play the video games that much. I just thought it was a weird decision to cut. Dark Horse I knew they would get rid of because they own Marvel, so why keep the contract to another comic book company? So I understand that, but not keeping LucasArts, very confusing. Thoughts on Kylo Ren's lightsaber, representing the battle from the. Sorry, don't know. That's a mix of new canon and the Old Republic game. I have zero knowledge of those. Do I think the new canon will do things better than the EU? You just can't say something is bad unless you haven't read it. That's true. I mean, no. Do I think it'll do something better? I don't know. I mean, it can. I hope it can. Right now, I don't think it's doing that good a job from what I've seen from various people. But it all depends on preference. I talked to a lot of people who love the new stuff. For me, I really have the best, so I'm really happy with what I've got. I don't need anything else. I don't need a new canon to start all over again with. That's just me. I mean, if you like the new canons, go for it. No problem at all. Oh, just Snoopy skipping the comics. Okay, that's fine. I have someone who's skipping the books and just reading the comic books. It'll be interesting to talk to both of you how you like going through it in chronological order. Love the Darth Bane trilogy, says Frigo. Wondering if the Old Republic books a good read. Revan got a lot of flack. I don't know why. I like Revan. Of course, I didn't play the game, so maybe people didn't like how he was portrayed. But I like them all, actually. Fatal Alliance, Deceived, and Annihilation. Out of those, Deceived, I think, was the best for me. I liked it the best. Let's see. In another universe, George Goku, George Lucas decided to keep Star Wars and made a new movie based on the New Jedi Order. What actress would you like playing Jaina Solo? You know what? We've talked about this. The twins. I have no idea because I don't know many actors or actresses' names these days, and I don't really like a lot of young actors and actresses. So maybe it'd be an unknown. I don't know. The whole who would they play in a movie? I've never really done. Do you know the authors? Someone asked the question of this to the authors. They asked Kevin J. Anderson, what do you think Jason and Jaina would who would play them? And he said, I don't picture them as actors or actresses who would play them. And I thought, hey, you know what? I never have either. I go by some of Dave Dorman's art or the other art on the books by what they look like, but I don't want to treat that to say, oh, they kind of look like so-and-so. Jana looks like one of my cousins from a long time ago. Weird, from Alabama, on one of the covers. I remember thinking that a long time ago. Frigo. Oh, gave that away, didn't I? I'm an Auburn fan. Yeah, you took my Will Muschamp. Hey, Will Muschamp's a great coach. I hope he does well for you, but I hope we beat the tar out of you if we ever meet you. Actually, my cousins are from South Carolina, Frigo, and they are big Gamecock fans. They love Steve Spurrier. They were upset when he retired. Stuart, in your opinion, did Aileen Caldwell have a chance with Ben Kenobi if he ever lived? I think they would have. Are you talking about Ben Kenobi? I think they would. Are you talking about Ben Skywalker? Who's Caldwell? Remind me. I think if it's Ben Kenobi, they would have kept him as a hermit. That's kind of explained in some of the books. Jedi, is it Jedi Quest or Jedi Last of the Jedi? I think it's kind of, or maybe it's Kenobi. I don't know, but they kind of explain he's a bona fide loner. My thoughts on the upcoming Star Trek Beyond movie. You know what? I'm actually a closet Star Trek fan. So what do I think about that? I know it's getting a lot of hate in the Star Trek forums. A lot of Star Trek fans do not like that. They're not hyped up about the new movie. They hated the last movie and they were okay with first. I actually liked the first of the reboot series. I actually liked the first. I hated the second one. I'll watch the third one. I'll go see it. I'm kind of indifferent toward it all, but there's a lot of hate in Star Trek realms for that one. So I don't know. We'll see. It looks kind of interesting, but a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's just all action now." Well, that's kind of what new movies are. They're all action. All right. I'm not going to catch up with all these questions, but I'm going to do my best. Here we go. If you would have had, whoa, what happened? Hold on, lost my place here. Sorry. If I would have had Delta Squad, how would I handle them? What, in a battle? I wouldn't have to handle them. I'd do whatever they said. Tanner, what's the most painful book in the expanded universe? I can't talk about that right now, Tanner. I'm sorry. I haven't reviewed it yet, but when I do, you will hear me talk and rant. And it's a very unpopular opinion I have, but I will rant about that book later. Favorite droid, apart from HK47, of course, everyone loves him. I5YQ, nice. I like Blue Maxim Bullocks from Brian Daley's Han Solo trilogy. I love those characters. I was kind of excited when I thought they brought him back later on in the series, and they didn't. But Blue Maxim Bullocks are fantastic droids to read about. Brian Daley does a great job. Who's Callistia? She's in the Callistia trilogy, Children of the Jedi, Darksaber, and Planet of Twilight. You find out about Callistia. And then in other books too, but those are way later on. That's her main books. I do know George wanted Ron Howard in Phantom Menace to direct Phantom Menace, but Ron Howard wouldn't do it. He wanted Steven Spielberg and I can't remember the third director, but he wanted 3 people to direct the prequels, not him. And then he said, okay, I'll direct number 1, and then Ron will do 2, and Steven will do 3. But they said, no, George, you do it. Totally ruined prequels. Didn't totally ruin it. Like I said, I don't think George was a good director or a good writer, but I think if someone would have taken his script, you know, massaged it a little bit and filmed it with the same actors, same cast, I think it would have been fantastic. Seriously, fantastic series. If George hadn't been so heavily involved in it, still involved, you know, like he was in the original trilogy. Let's see. Question, Tevye. My opinion of Darth Malgus and Kyle Katarn, because in my opinion, love Kyle Katarn. He was, yeah, Kyle Katarn is fantastic. Darth Malgus is a very good character, of course. I love both of those are good. There's a lot of great characters though. It's hard to say too, but I know Kyle Katarn used to get a lot of love and he got forgotten for a while, and I'm glad a lot of people still remember him and still love him. Frigo, we got the same favorite book in the Ninja Order series. Good. Is the EU movement going to last until we get more Legends books, or is there a stopping point? Good question, Trevor. I hope it lasts. The billboard, I'm really hoping will, you know, shake some apples from the tree and see if we can get some answers to it. I'm not opposed to starting Plan B. If you hadn't heard about that, check out some of my very early videos about Star Wars. But what do I think about that? Yeah. It was their stopping point. I don't know. We'd have to see. If their response is no, look, stop, we're not going to do it, well, then we kind of know it's a dead duck. But until then, I'm going to fight hard, and I hope you do too. And thank you for everyone for making that billboard a reality, making dreams happen. We're the dream makers. Make-A-Wish Foundation right here. All right. This is so stupid. All right. My parents do not like board games. Oh, what do you think I should get to get a game night? That is a great question. All right, here's your choices. Catan, seriously, super fun game. Everyone loves it. It's the best-selling game right under Monopoly. So that's just a no-brainer. I would go with Catan. That seems to be the one that they would love the best. Or I haven't done a review on it, but it's a family, it's a game thing. Say anything, where you put a question down and write on a marker on the back anything you want to say. Say anything would be a fun party game. It's called a party game. That would be a fun way to start them off. It's very easy, no rules. I do like Catan as well. But see what they like, man. If they like card games, there's some good card games out there. Little games. I'm about to review just a little fun game. It's kind of a children's game, though, so maybe we won't get them mad. But yeah, I would go with that. I was going to say Pandemic because it's a co-op game. Everyone can be a part of it, but they may not be like, oh, we're curing a virus. That's kind of boring. They may not get that. But Catan, they get for source gathering, they get to it and they get to love it. And Say Anything's like a party game, which is very light, and they would get that too. Love board game questions. Isn't it a little depressing? It says Led Zepp. There's no more EU material being released. Well, yeah. You know, the water ran dry. I think it was around August of last year. I didn't know it at the time, and then when September hit, I realized that's it. That's it, because the last Fantasy Flight thing came out. They turned off the waterworks on the Old Republic short stories. By the way, all the Old Republic short stories are done. I'm gonna do one of my weekend runs. I'll go through those Old Republic shorts that had come out in the past year and a half. But they finished, so there's nothing else new right now. So that is kind of depressing. But you know what? There's plenty out there for you to read, and even myself. Joe Bonjourner and I are trying to find other authors like Tennessee Flint's Heart of the Jedi. Kind of hitting our dead end spot now. I have one more Hail Mary to throw that I'm going to actually do this weekend to an author, if I can get something from them. But other than that, though, we just got to hold on tight and hope that that billboard, I really hope that billboard just wakes them up and goes, wow, they'll spend money to get to buy a billboard in San Francisco to remind us to get Legends back. Okay, we'll do one. I'm not asking for much either. If they said, oh, it's only on ebook format, done, ebook form, that's fine. Or we're only going to release it on StarWars.com, a chapter a week or something, you know, and that's where your Legend is going to be. It's exclusive on StarWars.com. Great. I would get that too. Make a little Legend section where it comes out with short stories or a big story in, you know, chapters every day. And that would be good enough for me. I'm not asking for much. Just give me a continuation of the story I love so much. And let that one be more for the fans. Let people back in like Nathan Butler, Rich Hanley, Joe Bongiorno, a bunch of these guys I'm working with on the book. Give me a shot. I'd love to write a short fiction. And let them have their own little section. Online, StarWars.com, Legends section. For the fans. That would be really awesome, and I would be happy. I would be happy. I'm happy to get any new Legend stuff out. Are the Jedi Code Sith books part of the old or new canon? Trevor, that's a good question. They came out in the old canon. I don't have them, or the Bounty Hunter Code either, for this reason. All the little scribbly notes to the side, if you've ever looked at it, it's like, oh, hey, Sky Guy, oh, don't. Or Palpatine, this is good to learn sometime. Or should we call him Sheev now? This is good to learn till later. He circles it. Maybe not later. You know, bringing people back to life. And I was like, they're not going to write in the book. It kind of just took me out of it. And if they had not have written those little notes, I probably would have bought them all. Now, to be honest, if the missus got me them for like my birthday or something, I wouldn't hate it. I'd read them. But because of all those scribbles in there, I think that's so dumb. I never got into it. So I think it could be part of the old canon, but I don't know. I haven't read those. You own incredible cross sections. I own 2 of them, or 3. What is that one? No, just 2 of them. I like them. I like the cross sections. They're really cool. Someone thought long and hard on that, and they must have had an engineering background too, because a lot of stuff I don't understand, but it's cool. It always interests me. There was a guy who was part of our movement when we first started, Anthony. He passed away just a few months after. He was a good guy. One of the things, though, I loved about Anthony was that he knew every different TIE fighter, X-Wing, you know, all sorts of, and what their engine frames were, what their what kind of motor hyperdrives they use. I mean, he was all into the technical aspects of it because that's what he did. I guess he built cars or something, or loved to work cars, so he loved cross sections and stuff like that. And he was always asking me questions like, Matt, what do you think the differences are between this X-Wing and this X-Wing? Because this X-Wing looks to seem to have the same speed as this one, but they have 2 different hyperdrives. Because they're both made by the same company. I always imagine that, and I'm going, Anthony, you lost me, brother. I don't know, but I'm loving this conversation. Where'd you find this? Tell me. And he sent me a bunch of stuff. I looked that up again. He sent me a bunch of little technical readouts and details of all the planes and, you know, ships and from Star Wars. I was like, this is incredible. The man just had an incredible mind for that. And I said, you know what? If I ever write a book and I need about Star Wars book and I need help on ships, I'm definitely calling you. He was a good guy. And that's another thing I'm so thankful for this EU movement. I'm getting to meet people that I never would have met before. So one of the good things about Disney buying Star Wars is it brought a lot of us EU people together. And I mean, there's people who are going to hate on us. In fact, there's one guy on one of the videos right now. No, he's not watching this, but yeah, he was like, "Oh, all your." He was just talking about how the EU sucks, and so, you know, those type of people. He's like, "Oh, I got a little bit of it, but it all sucked," you know, trying to give him some clearancy, you know. But the thing is with him, and I told him this, is that, dude, you're saying he thinks that anyone who likes that stuff is garbage. They should be like, and I said, well, I called him an elitist. I said, you sound like an elitist, that you're better than all the other Star Wars fans. He said, no, I'm just a purist. What a difference. And oh, it was my A World Without the EU, when I was showing all the contradictions in the movies now that you don't have the EU. Now, like I said, the new EU could go and plug in those contradictions, but a lot of people don't really think much of them. And I even said that in the video, but he goes, oh, okay, you're 100% wrong. And this is one point because that doesn't matter. And this is another point because maybe this happened. And then he didn't know the answers. One of them was why Obi-Wan and Owen hate each other, because they doesn't feel that way in episode 3, but in episode 4 they do. Because, oh, there's living proof of that. Because in episode 4, Obi-Wan says he didn't want you following me on some damn fool. Your uncle wouldn't allow it. And then Uncle Owen said, oh, he's a crazy old man. And that shows you they hate each other. No, it doesn't. It shows you they hate each other. It doesn't tell you why. But anyway, he was just trolling and whatnot. And a lot of them just troll. I don't know why they do. I've never experienced so much hate within fandom as I see hate for EU people. It's weird. Like, we show them the quotes where it is canon, and they get angrier because they weren't around. I think the lights were off back then, and they weren't paying attention to Star Wars until Disney bought them. And they didn't really understand what canon was. They didn't understand what the EU was. And they feel left out, to be honest. Joseph, a guy wrote something about, it was really good. Too bad that guy hates me. But Joseph, you wrote something really awesome. That, the reason that they hate the EU is because they feel like they got left out of the game. And so they feel that they're not as good. It's basically just they feel insecure, like, oh man, okay, you guys read all this, but guess what, it doesn't count anymore, so I'm better than you now, or now you're not better than me. And I agree with Joseph. I think that's kind of how it works out. Let's see. Goku, which section should you start collecting? Novels, comics, or games? Go with the novels first. Comics second. Because maybe Marvel will reprint a lot of them. A lot of them are out of print and hard to get. And maybe after a while, because Marvel's reprinting a few of their stuff, and I'm hoping Marvel will reprint tons of. They should, because comic books, they need to make money. So I'm thinking they're going to reprint everything under the Legends banner for comic books. And I think that'd be great too, because a lot of people who pay a lot for the old Dark Horse omnibuses can now get them at hopefully a cheaper price. I hear that about the new Battlefront there. Let's see. Wow, I am so far behind. Whoa. Let's see. What do I think about Lucas' statement regarding selling the franchise? He feels like he sold his child to white slavery. Yeah, I found the link to Timothy Zahn's link a few weeks ago. Iger, send me that link again for Timothy Zahn interview. No, I did read it. Yes. George's statement about white slavery, he came back and he apologized for it. I think George is too caught up in the moment, because I think he does have some sour grapes, because he thought Disney would still look to him for advice, and he thought he'd still be involved. He didn't know they were just going to turn an about face and go, bye, George, boom, and take off. I think that kind of hurt his feelings. So I think that's why he made that comment. Now, he backed away from it, but it is funny he said it, right? It's on his mind, at least. All right. Hold on, folks. All right, I am totally behind on this. Let me see if I can get up here. All right. Sorry for the delay here. Trying to get to all these questions. Y'all have asked tons of questions, and I'm so far behind. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to get to all these. Y'all asked the best questions, so y'all really asked some great questions. Oh, Stuart from J.J. Miller's, John Jackson Miller's novel Kenobi. Yes, now I know. No, I don't think they would have, but I think they would have made it lovely there. All right. Thoughts on the weird sexual tension between Luke and Leia in the old Marvel comic series? They didn't know they were brother and sister back in the early comic book days, so they knew they liked each other. And yeah, it's kind of awkward after a while because he thinks about Leia. But oh well, oh well. I don't really mind it. The Marvel comic books are good. I can't wait to review them. Any opinion on the Deadpool movie? Okay, it was rated R. Definitely rated R. I cannot tell people to go see it. It was rated R to the max. So if you're easily offended, don't see it. Other than that, it's the best Marvel movie they ever made. Because it makes fun of itself, but it's R-rated to the max. Don't even think about taking your kids. Don't even think about taking kids. And so my buddy says, I'm waiting for the TV edit. I said, good, that'll be a great 20 minutes. It was a fun movie though. All right. Japanese covers are awesome. Of 7 Dark Jedi from Dark Forces 2, what is your favorite? Mine's probably Jarek. Probably Jarek. I don't remember them all. I have to go back and look at that book again and read them all because there were a lot of them. But yeah, probably Jarek. Michael. Let's see. Okay. Making it through here. Squid of Doom. Just finished reading Heir to the Empire and Dark Force Rising. What do you say should I read after Last Command? I would go with Kevin Anderson's Jedi Academy trilogy, personally. You can also go with Courtship of Princess Leia or Truce of Bakura. Personally, I would. All right. Whoa. Sorry. Whoa. You guys are shooting in these questions. All right, I'm just going to go through here as best I can. If Plan B is ever initiated, I'm practicing my writing skills. Hey, good. I am too. Any opinion on Disney trying to release these Star Wars spin-off movies? No opinion of anything new Star Wars. Don't know, don't care. What would you help to give back to the Star Wars community and give more Legends universe? I don't understand the question, Michael. I'm sorry. Let's see. Come on. What's wrong with this? Did it freeze? What characters were rated in the RPG that I would have liked to have seen in the RPGs? Oh, I don't know. That's a great question. You stumped me there. I don't know. That would take me a while. I'd have to go back through and see again. Dark Strider campaign, all the characters from there. Never mind. From the Far Star, I would love to see a book written about that. I thought it was fantastic. I thought this idea of it was fantastic. Can I give you a brief summary of Crucible? Yeah, buy my book when it comes out. That's what I'm talking about is Crucible. Let's see. Honestly, I can't talk about. I'm under contract. I can't talk about that one. That's kind of weird to say, isn't it? Dak, good question. Good point. Billboard average about $37 a donor. That's more than a hardback. Delray should pay attention. I agree. All right. Why is this thing coming up? Stop. Wake up. All right, hold on. I'm sorry. It's going super slow right now. Looking at my screen more than anything. I need help. I need someone just to look at these for me. I'm gonna do that. Favorite Star Wars themed board game? It's great. You know what? I don't play any of the new board games. It's gonna be my Ewok Save the Trees. Dylan's gonna kill me for that. Will you ever be playing role-playing games? The role-playing games be reopened again? Oh, from Fantasy Flight? No. From the Legend area? No. They'll borrow stuff from there, but it'll be they'll clearly define them as legends, is what they said. Do I have all the Indiana Jones books? No, I kind of want them. Relic gave me 2 of them, and I haven't read them yet. Relic Bruce still has them, but I kind of want. I've looked into collecting them. I'm kind of collecting vintage board games right now, so that's where my money's going right now. Any opinion on the StarCraft universe? No, I hear a lot of people like it, so I didn't get to read it that much. I'm trying to run through these. What book, if you reread the most, it's going to be the Dark Strider RPG the most. I mean, I've read the book. I've read some of the books a couple of times, but the Dark Strider campaign, I just can't get enough of because I love that story. Let's see. Come on. Okay, skipping to the bottom. I'm getting to the end here. I'm sorry I didn't answer a lot of people's questions, but oh geez, I'm so far behind. I'm so sorry. All right. Oh, look out. Look out. Come on, give me this. Sorry for all the dead air. Still catching up, trying to find a. Oh, Red Koi, I'm trying to find that question that you asked me. Sorry. All right, I can't find your question, but you keep asking me to answer it, and I'm trying to go up and find it. I know what I can do. Hold on. I'm gonna give y'all some bonus minutes tonight. Will let me do that? Dang it. All right. I'm trying. The question, what happens is when everyone comments, it zips up, and then I lose my place. I'm trying to find my place again. All right. Okay, I'm gonna have to close up the question thing. I cannot now. It's just frozen for me. Let me see if I can get on here. This is fun. This is the moment of this is when watching live stuff really just sucks, right? Where's my live Q&A? Come on. Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if you'll let me. Hold on. I'm trying to get to my live Q&A. Sorry, folks. You have officially crashed my laptop. It has a few other things running on it, so it's not just you, but it is stuck in eternity here. So I'm trying to find another way. There. Maybe this will help. No, it won't. All right. Let's see if I can do this. I'm sorry. I can't. That has crashed. Yeah. All right. Well, I am so sorry. that's it for questions then. I'll just have to look at this some other time. If I didn't answer your question, put it in the comments of the video. I will get to it next time. So sorry. Too many questions. But you know what? That's why we're doing it monthly. Except for next month, and I'll explain why. But anyway, folks, thank you again. This is amazing that there are so many people watching this right now. And I really appreciate you asked some great questions. I'm sorry I couldn't get to some of your questions. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to do this because it's hard for me to look at the questions as they're zinging by and answer them too. I tried to get someone here to help me out with the questions, but I couldn't find anyone. Obviously, this is not the right thing for questions. The old Surface went dead on me right as I went live. It crashed on me. So don't get a Surface. I used to love it, but now it's been more grief than anything else. Oh, and I could have gotten my Kindle. But anyway, gonna have some fun next week on the channel. Gonna do a weekly rundown. I'm gonna talk about my time at Pensacon, where I'm gonna go see Troy Denning. Troy Denning, Kevin J. Anderson, Dave Dorman, and who knows who else. So I'll give you my rundown of that, a few other things that's going on with the channel. Gonna have a board game, a review going up that should be fun. And yeah, some more Star Wars Expanded Universe. As you know, me and Yubnub are super excited. All right, folks, have a great evening. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And I'll just see you next time. If I can even turn off the broadcast there. Did I stop it? No, I didn't. It won't even stop. This is an ongoing podcast. Oh, wow. What would happen now?